Oh, did it? Oh, yay.
Hello. I already see so many comments flooding in, and this is amazing. So thank you for being here. If you're joining us, this is the Book Troop live show for the month of March. We read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley.
I have it too. Sorry. Okay.
Oh yes, perfect. And this is my friend Lexi. If you are unfamiliar with her channel, her channel will be linked down below, by the way, if you're unfamiliar with her channel, which I mean, come on, like Lexi's amazing. Like if you haven't heard of
Gabby,
Lexi,
stop.
like,
I'm blushing. Stop. I'm turning red on your channel.
So if you haven't heard of Lexi, maybe do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and kind of talk about your channel and
Yes. Okay. Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm Gabby's #1 fan. I'm so excited to be here, actually. Oh my gosh. But I have a BookTube channel too. My name is Alexandra Roslyn.
Yes.
I don't even know why it's called that because I go by Lexi. So like, why was I so formal? I don't know. But I'm Lexi and I read books. That's it.
Yeah, you read books. Very much. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Okay. So like, a little bit of a tangent, but when I was invited onto Kayla's and it was you and Kayla, I was like, oh my God, this is my moment. This is my moment to become friends with them. And I was so nervous. So when you asked me now, I had like a little bit of like a, yes, she likes me moment.
Dude, are you kidding me? Like that live show we did with Kayla was so much fun.
So
and like your energy, and like I want to reach that level of energy like all the time. Like you're amazing. So I'm so happy to have you here. Oh my gosh, my mom's in the chat. What's up, Mom?
Hi, Gabby's mom. Hey, Liv.
Oh my gosh. So thank you so much to everybody already joining us. So yeah, The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. It happened this month. So maybe I want to know in the chat if you have read the book. Maybe we can do like a red heart or something like that. And then maybe if you haven't read the book yet, we could do a black heart just so I can get an idea, a visual for who is here because they've read it. And then maybe while they're doing that, would you want to give like a very brief premise that's like non-spoilery for anyone who hasn't read it and maybe is considering or on the fence?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this follows Jess, and Jess needs a place to crash. So she goes to her brother's apartment in Paris. And when she gets there, he is not there. And all of his neighbors are super sketchy. And she's trying to figure out like, what's going on? Do they have something to do with it? Or do they just like, are they weird? So that's basically the book. I loved it. Premise. Oh, well, I mean, I'm not saying I loved it. We don't know yet our ratings, but I loved the whatever. Okay, let's go on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many hearts. This is exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all different shades of hearts, but very exciting hearts. Oh, that is so kind.
That is really kind. Also, I'm nervous because this is so divisive.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We were just talking about earlier how we were like, this is like one of the most divided like takes on a book that I'm seeing around.
Yes.
And so I'm curious to know your rating, and I'm very nervous to hear it at the same time.
I know. Me too.
So, yeah, we decided that we're gonna reveal our ratings at the same time just because we're both like
yeah.
So
are we gonna count down? Like, are we doing it on 3 or after 3?
We can do 1, 2, 3, and then say it.
The rating. Okay. That sounds good.
So while we're getting ready to do that, if you have read the book, then now is the time you can fill in the chat. Give us your rating out of 5. Like, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about it?
Yes.
Somebody did just ask, have we watched the Literally Dead live? I caught like a little snippet of it.
Yeah. I started to watch it. I like to watch lives after I've already done one so that I'm not like as influenced, but I did watch a little bit because like I love all of Kayla's lives too. So
I know, same. I was like, I want to participate, but I don't want to be influenced.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have a wide range of ratings over here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Olivia gave it 1.5.
I saw that on Goodreads. And I was like, oof, okay.
I knew she didn't like it, but I didn't know she didn't like it. That's so funny. Okay, so let's just do it. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Okay. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes! What?
It's the same! Oh my gosh!
Oh my god, that's amazing!
Sorry if I screamed at anyone, by the way. I always forget that the microphone's
Sorry for the headphone users.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I didn't understand that. That's crazy.
Oh, hey, Gavin!
Oh my gosh, is Gavin here?
Yeah, Gavin's here too. I
Oh my
love
gosh.
seeing like besties in the chat. Liv's here,
I
Gabby's here.
know. Amazing.
I do look naked. No, okay, listen, somebody said that, and I agree with you. I was sitting here before the live going, so, oops. So, this
Oh
is
my
already
God.
so chaotic. So I was sitting here like this, and I was like, people are going to think I am not wearing clothes. So I don't know what to, I am wearing clothes, you guys. I promise.
Oh
But
my God, I can't.
anyways, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Also, how am I gonna, okay. We're good. We're good.
Oh my God, Olivia cracks me up.
Oh,
I love that shirt though. It's so cute. Like you
thank
gotta do
you.
it, you know?
Thank you. It's a little scandalous for a live, but it's there.
Yeah, for sure. Amazing. Okay, so we have the same rating. What did you like? What I mean, vaguely without spoilers, but like, what made you give it 4 stars?
Okay, so first of all, I'm like a vibes person, and the
Yeah,
vibes of this were right
same.
up my, like, rich people problems, sketchy apartment, secrets, family secrets. I was
Yep.
so into it. Then also the twists, like after a couple, I was okay, this is right up my street. I really liked it, but that's
Yeah.
what I did. How about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the vibes are like the thing I loved most about it. It was giving very like almost kind of like a lock every door, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, like creepy apartment building vibes. Like
Yeah.
I was here for that. And I will admit, like the second I finished reading this, I wanted to give it 5 stars. Like like 5 stars was my initial like reaction feeling to
too.
it because of all the twists. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, the twists were crazy. And so my initial gut was like 5 stars, but then after I was thinking about it more, I was like, okay, it's more like realistically like a 4 star because I didn't like it quite as much as the guest list,
Yeah.
which is like my favorite book from this author. But then also like there were like about 100 pages in there where I felt like it was pretty slow. Like it kind of like dragged at some parts, but
Yeah.
mostly I mostly really enjoyed it. And I'm honestly kind of surprised that people are hating it as much as they are, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I will, especially since the guest list. So this is so weird, but for Summer Ween, that's when I picked up the guest list, and I actually didn't finish it
Oh,
because,
really?
yeah, now I really want to, but the characters, there was like a lot of toxic masculinity, which was great because that wasn't the point. That was like the buildup, but I hated it. I was like, okay, this reminds me of real life too much, so like I have to like put it down for a second. But now I want to pick it back up because this was so good, and most people prefer the guest list. So now I'm like, oh shoot, do you prefer the guest list over this?
I do, yeah. The guest list was like a 5 star, like one of my favorite thrillers. But it's also because of the vibes. Okay, the guest list has great vibes because it's like island, wedding, like murder, like it's just great. So I do think though, if you like the vibes of this, you'd probably like the vibes of the guest list too.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's exciting. I wasn't expecting this. I don't know why. I was like thinking that you were gonna hate on it.
I actually thought I was like, okay, I'm gonna be the only one who likes it, and I'm so, because I'm a go with the flow girl, so I was like, I'm fully prepared to have my mind changed.
Well, me too.
But,
and like, I have the Discord now for the book club, and in the Discord, oh my god, people are roasting it. People are like DNFing it left and right, 1 star, 2 stars. I'm like, oh my god. So I'm like,
why do people seem to not like it as much? Do you know? Or like, can people in the comments tell us?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would love to know if you gave this like 1 or 2 stars. I'm seeing, you know, disliked literally every character in this book, which is fair, you know.
Yes. Well, I don't think I liked any of them either, actually.
Same.
I was gonna say though, I feel like that's one thing that she does really well is writing every character to be unlikable, but like for me in a really interesting way.
Yeah.
Like I was enjoying hating on them. I was like, oh, Sophie, you were so annoying. But like it was so interesting to read her perspective.
Yeah, I agree. And like I don't need to like the characters in a thriller. Like thriller is one of those rare genres where like I don't need to like the thriller or the characters to have a good time. Like, you know, it's like one of those twisty genres, but apparently people didn't like the twists as much. They're good in a dumb, fun way. I mean, I agree, but
I agree with that.
Loved it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
Let's see what I'm trying to find if anybody's saying, yeah, what is this? Her use of colons, semicolons, and dashes. I like didn't even pick up on that at all.
I didn't pick up on it as much because I don't know about you, but I was reading along, but while I was listening to the audio,
Yeah,
did you listen to the audio at
I
all?
did. Yeah.
I feel like when the audio involved, I notice less grammatical things for like
Yeah.
as like I think because I'm like more absorbed as the story progresses when it's like narrated. And I love that it was a full cast. I thought that was
Mhm.
so cool.
I was gonna say the audiobook is fantastic,
It was
like,
really good.
full
Yeah.
cast, like, accents and everything, like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
It made it feel like an experience.
Yes, and you know what's funny is I'm really curious. Please prove me like tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Like it won't hurt my feelings. But for those of you who are saying it slow, because a bunch of people are also saying it slow, I'm
Mhm.
wondering, did you listen to the audio or did you read it
Yeah.
physically? Because I feel like one of the reasons it didn't seem as slow is because of the cast. So I'm wondering if my experience was just different because I was like taking it in a different way.
I know. That is a good point, cause yeah, especially if there's, like, improper colon usage or whatever that's about, like, I didn't notice it really, cause I was
I
mostly
didn't
listening to
either.
the audio,
Yeah.
so maybe, yeah, maybe if you physically read it, maybe that's different.
Jan, call it out so I can look it up
Yeah.
because I don't
Justin said, "Not sure why the protagonist was set as 28 years old, she came across way younger." That's interesting.
Yeah. I
I
don't
didn't super feel that, but
Well, I'm 30 and I act like
yeah.
her. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I act
Mhm.
silly, so I don't know.
That's kinda true. Where were the Paris vibes? That's one that I'll agree with there.
I would agree with that too. Actually, I was gonna ask you this. So it's called the Paris apartment, but I
Mhm.
actually feel like the apartment could have been a little bit more part of the story. Like one thing that I
Yeah.
was surprised what we mentioned like the dumbwaiter in the beginning, and I thought that was gonna have a way more important
Yeah.
role, but it's like we
Mhm.
mentioned it and then we didn't like go back to it as much.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I thought it was gonna be more like, yeah, like used throughout the book
Yeah.
instead of just kind of like mentioned and then kind of forgotten about.
Yeah.
So that's true. Audiobook was so good for me, although I
Yeah.
was a fan of Jess's and Mimi's narrators. Yeah, some of
Yeah.
the narrators were a little like just a tad annoying, but like
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was fun. So, wow, this is exciting. I'm glad that we're on the same page here.
Yeah, I know.
Um, Interesting. Okay, physically read it. I bet if it was an audiobook, I would have pushed through, but I still don't think I would like it. I won't be trying again. Yeah, there was quite a
Fair.
few DNFs that I saw, and I get it's
Yeah.
probably because the middle does have a pretty slow section in the middle towards the book. Um,
Very true.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if there's anything I wanted to touch on before we jump into spoilers, because there's so much to talk about with
I
this
know.
book with spoilery things. I'm like, oh my god. So let's see. We're probably just gonna go ahead and jump into spoilers if that's cool.
Good with me.
I don't know, my voice keeps sounding like it's going out. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah, the first half was super slow and boring. If it was an unknown author, I would have DNF'd at 50%. See, that's the
Fair.
thing too, is that because I've liked Lucy Folly in the past, I feel like I'm more than willing to keep going and giving it a chance because I know that I like
Yeah.
the writing, you know?
Yeah. And
Um,
also, I think that's why I did the audio because for some reason the guest list I didn't connect as much. So I was like, I'm going to listen and see if like it changes it. And it
mhm,
did actually. So I don't
yeah,
know. It's interesting. That's really interesting.
nice, nice. Okay, so yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and jump into spoilers because I have like so much that I want to get into.
Okay.
So if you're here and you have not read the book, then we are going to jump into spoilers. So just a warning, spoilers will be incoming your way. So okay, so the first thing I wanted to ask you that's kind of spoilery is how did you feel or like were you surprised by the reveal that like all of these people are family and that they're all like related?
Yes. 100%. And that was one of the first moments where I was like, oh, this is my shit.
Yeah,
Like I was so into it because I love it when it's like a messy family,
yeah,
especially when it's like a messy rich family. I'm like, okay, give me. And so like when we found out, I first of all, because I'm listening on audio and Nick
yeah,
is super, super British, I was like,
yeah.
what the I really did not see that coming at
I
all.
know.
And I
Yeah,
thought
I
it
know.
was so good. I thought the twist was so good.
Ooh, Jan said, "I wish they were a COVID or something instead of a boring family."
Well,
Oh,
actually,
God.
that would have been. I was wondering because you read Lock Every Door too, right, Gabby?
Mhm. Yeah.
During, I won't say any spoilers for that one, but like the whole time you're wondering, like, is there something paranormal? So I was going into this wondering if there's going to be like a little haunted
I was too.
aspect too. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So
like, some of the setup in this book with, like, I don't know, like, it was giving me such Lock Every Door vibes that I was like, "I
yeah,
really hope it's not the same twist." Like, I was thinking for
yeah,
so long, I was like, "It's gonna do the same exact thing," but, like, no, luckily, it was not.
yeah. I liked it.
But, yeah, the twist because I know, like, some people did like the family twist and some people really didn't. So that's why
Yeah.
I was curious to see how you felt about that one. But I was mostly just so shocked that I didn't even really think how I felt about it, because I was just like, wait, like I was like trying to put it back together, like how is
Yeah.
this possible?
I loved it. I don't know, like I'm you know how there's like buzzwords that you'll like pick up a book for?
Yeah.
I love like over the top, scandalous, rich families with lots of problems. I don't, probably because I'll
Yes.
never relate to it, like because that's like a total, I don't know. And I really enjoy it a lot. I don't know
No.
why.
No, I agree. And like, yeah, the eerie vibes
It
was
was.
what really was selling me on this shit. Like, I loved when,
Yeah.
like, right at the beginning, where there's that scene where she sees like an old lady standing under the like light of the street or whatever, and it's all like
Yeah.
shadows, and she's like, what the heck? And like, somebody's watching her. And like,
Yeah.
I just immediately loved the vibes of that. And then like, finding out about that, like, I don't know, that like staircase that's like behind the wall or something. And there were like peepholes in the doors. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was just getting
Yeah.
so creeped out. Like,
Did you know anything was up with the attic when she mentioned it? Because I did not.
no, I know. Like, right at the beginning, or like,
Yeah, she's like, don't go up there. That's like old maid's
no,
quarters. I never thought about it. I was like, okay. And then like I
yeah.
moved on. And so when it turned out that like her brother was up, wait, are we saying that yet? Can we say
Yeah.
that yet? Okay. When we found out that Ben was up there, I was
Yeah.
like, are you joking me?
I know. I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was gonna ask, so like out of all the point of views in this book, did you have a favorite point of view to read from? Or were they all just kind of like the same for you?
Yeah, I did. I did. I liked I feel weird saying this, but I liked Nick's the best.
Oh, okay.
Because first I had like a little bit of a crush on him, like just based on
Mm,
like the way he was
okay.
described. But then when we discovered, that he was like struggling with his sexuality and the whole thing that happened with Ben, I really felt for him. I was like, oh my God, like this poor baby, like I want to protect him because I felt kind of, I mean, his dad was such a dick.
Yeah.
And so he's really a sympathetic. I mean, he's morally great too. Like none of them are good.
Yeah.
But like I felt so bad for him throughout the story that he just kind of became my favorite because I in a weird way wanted to protect him. I also wanted him to like break out from that whole thing too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually you answer and then I have a question for you about that. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I feel like my favorite point of view was Jess to read from, just because I was so invested in like the mystery of what was happening with her, and
Yeah.
because I didn't trust any of the other characters.
Yeah.
I was so suspicious of all of them, like especially Nick, especially when he started getting like flirty with her. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, what's going on? Like something's going on. And so I not that I liked Jess that much as a character, but I definitely liked her point of view the best, just because
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what was going on. But
And maybe that's why I like Nick, because in the back of my mind I was like, oh, this is the villain, and then I was like, oh, this is the villain. Okay, so do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, and I like how even with the protagonist, like she was so morally gray. She was constantly like swiping stuff, but it was because of her background. So she was interesting. I totally
Well,
agree.
that's what I mean too, because Jess also had that like mysterious past, right? Because she like didn't
Yeah.
want to go to the police, because you were like, okay, what happened with her and the police? Like she doesn't trust, so like there was her whole backstory too that was kind of interesting.
Yes.
But I totally agree with what you were saying about Nick's character being a pretty interesting backstory too.
Yeah, and I totally agree with everyone with Mimi too, because she was another one where it's kind of tragic. Like okay, so she's a little unhinged, right?
Yeah.
With some of that art stuff. Okay, but also you feel for her because a lot of what she's experiencing, I mean, the way she's channeling it is a little strange. But like she's innocent too, and she was so fascinating. Like all of her thought process and how she was justifying some of the really kind of like toxic things she was doing, I thought was really interesting. I was like, oh, wow, she's a good mix between unhinged and innocent. I think,
Yeah, I would agree. I know this is surprising to me. I love Sophie's point of view. She was probably my least favorite point of view.
Yeah, yeah, I agree until we learned her backstory, and then I was like, oh, Sophie is that girl.
I know. Sophie's backstory was like,
I know,
fascinating. Like out of left field. Like what?
I agree, and that's what's so. As soon as I read her perspective, I was like, she's not the bad guy because she was too unlikable.
Yeah,
and that's what I thought about Antoine too. So to find out he actually was like a part of the bad guy, I was like, oh, that's shocking. Because like usually they write it so that the people you don't suspect, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, because it would be too obvious
Yeah.
if she was like the main one involved. So
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Everybody seems to like Jess and Nick.
Oh, good.
I saw Jan mention something about the New Girl reference. I didn't even pick up on that with Jess and Nick.
Oh,
They're
I
like,
didn't either.
to that show.
I didn't either.
That's
I
so
was gonna
funny.
ask, did you like Ben or did you not like Ben, Gabby, and
I don't
everyone else?
know. I had like mixed feelings about his character for the most part. Like I was just kind of like curious to see why everyone kind of hated him so much, because every
Yeah.
point of view would be like everything went wrong when Ben moved in, or like, that kind of
Yeah.
dramatic flair. So I was like, okay, what the heck happened with Ben? But then I started to get a little irritated with his character when he was like hooking up with like every member of this family.
Yes. Okay. So here's my thing. I thought I liked Ben, but the more I sit with the story, the more
Mhm.
I'm like, I actually really don't like this guy because I think what happened. Okay, so I did catch this from the Kayla's live show. There's just cat hair randomly floating outside. And somebody said like, why is everyone so interested in hooking up with Ben? And I think I know the reason. I
Mm.
think it's because he is presenting a safe space for people to talk about things that they're ashamed of or embarrassed of or that they want to talk about. Like, so he's letting them be vulnerable. And in their specific like family dynamic, no one's allowed to really be like who they are. Like Sophie has to hide her past and put on a front. And then we've got Nick who has to like hide a really, really huge part of who he is.
Mhm.
And Ben is like giving them the safe space. But that's why I don't like this guy, because he's using them and their secrets for his journalism thing.
Yeah.
And I hope, I'm glad that it was all exposed because the family business was gross, but I felt so bad because Nick and Sophie were ultimately like used.
Yeah, that's so true. I know I do have pretty like, I don't know, I have neutral feelings about Ben. But like, I don't know, I was kind of happy that he was alive at the end though, for some reason. I think it was mostly like for Jess's sake. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, good for her. Like he's actually alive.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like,
I agree. I was happy for two reasons. The first was I was not expecting it. So I was like, he's alive? Like that is a twist you would have never thought. But then the second is I felt like it was going to be really shitty for Jess if she just didn't have anyone, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I was happy for Jess just because it's like that was like literally her only family.
Yeah.
And like their connection was just, like I know. Could Ben have actually cared about Sophie though?
Okay, this is such a good question. What do you think? Do you think Ben, because I'm just confused with him. Like one thing that I'm also really confused with is that he seemed like very not interested in his little sister either, which is kind of surprising to me because I'm very close to my sibling. And if it was just me and him, I feel like I would have like connected even more. You know what I mean?
I know. I feel like I don't think he could have actually cared about Sophie though, because he was like hooking up with her children too.
It's weird. Yeah.
So like if he actually liked Sophie, I don't really think he would have been. I mean, maybe he would. I don't know. But I don't see that, you know?
It's messy.
Yeah.
Someone says, I think he was just thirsty.
Oh my god.
Fair
No,
point.
you're not wrong.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's a quote about that. One, not about being thirsty.
I was gonna say, what?
Yeah, there's like a quote. It's like on page 348, and it says like, finally Ben speaks, I couldn't help myself, that family, everything we never had, I wanted to be a part of it, I wanted them to love me, and at the same time I wanted to destroy them. So I think in a weird way he was collectively in love with the idea of them wanting him, and so he tried to be whatever they wanted so that he would feel that, but also I think he was jealous because like he never had that.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
I agree actually with Justin, like low key a little bit. I don't know.
I kind of agree too. I know, because he's very good at manipulating people.
Yeah.
And I know that like it does come with his career in a way, I guess, to be able to do that. But yeah, I just don't think he cared that much about anyone. But I know too, that was kind of interesting. Like, did you like how the book kind of opened with that scene with Ben where you kind of like see somebody coming in and then he's like, what the fuck? And then it just kind of like leaves you like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, I liked it because I felt like right away we knew that it was going to be someone he knew. Yeah. And so exactly. I like that it, like she was basically saying, yeah, it's going to be at least one of them. And I don't know, who did you think it was? Like, and everyone in the comments too, who did you think it was and why? Before you knew.
I was torn the whole book between thinking it was either Nick or Sophie. Like I was so convinced it had to be one of them. they were just like so shady throughout the whole thing that I was like, it
Yeah.
has to be one of them that's like responsible for this. But also, I just couldn't figure out why. But then I was starting to think too, like when it was kind of revealed that like Nick and Ben kind of had a little bit of a relationship starting there or something, then I thought,
Yeah.
oh, maybe he killed him out of like jealousy of finding out that he was hooking up with like Sophie or whatever. But then I was like, oh no, like I don't know. That was my
That's good. I had so we had kind of like have a similar thought, but I actually thought it was Camille or Camille. And the
oh
reason is because I was like, all the other perspectives are too obvious, but we keep mentioning her. It turns out that she was not even a part of that story. So,
mm,
but
yeah,
like, I thought it was going to be like a jealous lover thing because
I
like
know.
they mentioned that in the beginning,
Hmm.
and then I was like, oh, that's it,
Yeah.
that's her. But I was wrong. So,
This
never
is
mind.
interesting. I thought we were gonna get a twist that it was the concierge. That would have been
Ooh, that would
but
have been interesting.
she was like the only one that like wasn't involved with this family's like
I know.
shenanigans.
I know.
But her twist too, like how did you feel about that twist of like how Mimi was like kidnapped as a baby and like the concierge was like actually her like grandma or whatever? Like, oh my god, I was shook over that.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
What?
I thought it was so cool because it wasn't just like one twist in the book. It was
Yeah,
how everything was connected to this really gross business and
yeah,
how like there was all of these like interpersonal I loved how it all connected. I
yeah.
really did
Same.
actually.
I know, I was so shocked that, like, about the whole twist revolving around this, like, sex club and everything. It was
Yeah,
so much darker than I was thinking it was gonna get because,
me
when they
too.
were first, like, going through all these motions of trying to figure out where Ben was, I was just, like I was thinking of it as, like, such surface level stuff, and then once the sex club stuff really started to come into the story, I was like, "Oh, wait, this is way deeper than I was
Yeah.
even anticipating it to be," and, like,
Yeah.
way darker. I was like, "Holy shit." Like, what?
There was one clue where I was like, maybe it's something involving like I didn't know if it was drugs or if it was sex, but well, I shouldn't say that on a live, but one of those because the wine bottles there was Nick had made like no not Nick Ben had made a note like this is too expensive for wine or something, and I was like, so does the
Oh,
wine represent? So that was my first clue, but I had no idea. Like when we fully learned about everything, but I did think that Sophie used to have like a past like that
mhm.
because she was trying to cover up the whole time. So I was like, something is going on with Sophie.
Well, yeah, and because right, we kept getting those, like, hints of, like, somebody was blackmailing her, and she was,
Yeah.
like she thought it was, like, Ben or something, right, that was blackmailing her, so that's why she was, like, threatening him or whatever. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, "What is going on with Sophie?" Like, there's some kind of history there, like,
Yeah.
so interesting. Um, ooh, interesting, I kept thinking the concierge was Sophie's mom.
You know what? I totally agree with this because okay, but I'm that person who I read a thriller and every 5 seconds I change my theory. But for like a second, I thought this too.
That's so interesting. I know, I love the concierge was like, "Yo, these people are horrible. Imma stay 'cause my grandchild is here." I
Yes.
know. Her character was pretty fascinating, like, I thought that story was
Mhm.
all so sad because, like,
Yeah,
I can't imagine, like, her knowing that her daughter died,
I
and then,
know.
like, just, like, that whole thing was, like, shockingly sad. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
I broke. It was. But I like how deep it went. Like it was like it kind of was a deep thriller in a weird way. Like it
I
brought
know.
like this horrible thing to. I don't know. So I thought
Yeah.
it was interesting.
I know, was she kidnapped, though? But it was, like, her mother died, but she was working in the sex club, right? And so then
Yeah.
it was, like,
So
Sophie was there and just
what happened was like her mom was there, but remember how like they took all of the girls' passports, so she like really couldn't leave.
yeah.
So when she died, technically they took the baby and they pretended that the baby was like Sophie's,
Mhm.
but yeah, technically it should have gone to that girl's grandma, right? Or her mom?
Well,
Or
that's
like
yeah.
in
It should
like
have gone to
she
the
should have stayed.
concierge.
Yeah, she should have stayed in the family or like maybe I guess gone into a system which would have been horrible, but like yeah. You know what I
But yeah, but
mean?
they didn't, like, it wasn't revealed or, like, the baby wasn't publicly known about, right? And so
Yeah.
that's why they were able to just kind of, like, sneakily
How did
handle
the
it.
concierge find out that that's where her granddaughter went?
I think it wasn't it because she, like, knew that her daughter was working in the sex club or something like that, right? And then that's
Yeah.
she connected it to them, and then by the time she went, they were like, "Oh, the baby" I think they told her, like, the baby died or I don't know. Something.
Okay.
What is, what is this? I just wanted y'all to talk about the hair swallowing. Did I miss something? I
Yeah.
keep
So
Like what?
No, when Mimi was so interested in Ben that at one point she broke into his apartment, went into his bathroom, and then picked up his shaved hairs and swallowed it. Why are we talking about this?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was. I did mark that. I was like, that's some
What?
kind of scream. Yeah,
Did I just like space out during that scene? Like,
Mimi
what?
is unhinged.
You know what? Maybe I like blocked it out of my memory. So I was like, oh my god. I know she wasn't a great concierge when she just let Joss walk in the beginning. I know. I mean, she could have, yeah, because she kind of knew what happened to Ben, right? Like the concierge knew.
Yeah. And
But
I also don't fully understand why she was a concierge is someone who like is customer service for multiple, they're all one like they're all one family. So what does she do?
yeah, I know. I don't know. Well, that's what I mean, because like they didn't want her Jess to know that they were all family. So maybe it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I know, but that's true. It is kind of ambiguous whether she actually died in childbirth or if they like killed her.
Yeah, and you know what else is ambiguous? What happened to his original wife? Because did you catch that there was there was like one little section where Nick was like, was my mom actually sick, or at the end was she getting poisoned? Like there was this one really quick line, and I was like, huh.
That's right. Yeah.
Everyone's freaking out about the hair.
I know. I think I like spaced out. I don't remember this.
I'm glad you spaced out. I don't want to remember that.
I'm like, wait, what? Like lowering my rating to 3 stars. No, I'm just kidding. Like what? Crazy. Also, one of the things about the ending, well, let me see. Because I wrote down some questions. Oh, yeah. How did you feel? Well, I know we said about Ben being alive at the end. Like, we were kind of surprised about that. But how did you feel about the twist that, like, the boys actually buried their own dad?
I loved it.
And, like, didn't realize it.
Oh, my God. It. I
was
loved
like,
it so much.
In the whole book. I was like,
me too. Me too.
I'm done.
I loved it. It was very Les Mis. And, I thought it was also, I genuinely would not have checked because the thing is like when you're living with someone, like you're in an apartment or a house or something, and there's a bug and somebody else kills it and they're like, do you want to see? Don't you immediately go, no, I don't want to see. Like no one wants to. So there's no way I would have checked because one, why would I have questioned Sophie? Who else would have been in there? And then number two, I don't want to see someone who's like, I could never kill someone. It would make me obviously like I can't even kill a bug, but would you have checked?
No, I don't think so. And that's the thing that it does feel realistic because like why would they like check? I mean because like they had already thought that like the family was having issues with Ben, right? So like it would have made sense for him to have gotten killed anyway. So like the whole thing was just like, oh my God.
And it was in his apartment. Like think about it. Like who else would have been in his apartment?
Exactly.
Because they didn't know the dad was there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And like, but I just feel so bad that like Nick must have had so much guilt for so long over thinking that it was his fault that Ben died when in reality, bitch was alive.
Also, I love how people are like, people would look at the bug like, you know what, you do you. That's awesome. There's no way.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the dad kind of was a piece of shit though.
We hate the dad.
Yeah, he was pretty terrible. So I love that twist was so screwed up. It honestly made me hate their mother even more. Like she not only let them believe it was Ben, but acted like their father was still alive the entire time. I know. Well, that's the thing. It's like, how did they not figure out, almost immediately that their dad was the one who died? Because like, where was their dad for
Was he? I don't know. Was he on a business trip? I know that she was texting as the dad, but really? Maybe, so maybe that's it. But that was.
I know. I must have missed how she explained to them that the dad wasn't there because I'm like, what? Wouldn't that be obvious at some point?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't remember. Was he on a business trip? Does anyone remember?
I know. I don't remember if they said.
Always check twice. People listen. Just don't kill anyone, and then you're good.
Yeah. Exactly. Like we wouldn't know. You know?
If I was in that situation and someone's like, "You want to look?" I'd be like, "No, I want as far away from that as possible."
I know.
I would have wanted to look, not in a disgusting or morbid way, but as a final look. Oh, see, yes, that's true. But I was thinking about this from Nick's perspective. And at one point, Nick was in love with him, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could bear to see the person I used to be in love with like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good point, Carolina. Yeah.
I do think that's true. But also, like, I just think it's so genius the way that Sophie like had them do all that dirty work for her and had them
Yeah.
thinking it was Ben when it was actually their own dad. Like, I just couldn't get over like the
Yeah.
like how
She's
twisted
that girl.
it is. I know. I was like, oh my god, these kids are literally burying their own father and they don't realize it.
I know.
Like, that's crazy. Like,
It really is. It really I think that was, in my opinion, well, I don't know. What do you think what the best twist was? Was it that one? Was it that Ben was still alive, or was it that they were all family?
I know. I loved all three of them, but I think that one of like them burying their own dad is like my favorite thing. Like, I was like 5 stars. Like,
yeah, I know. Okay, so the more we talk, the more I'm like, this is actually a really, really, because like I originally was like, just give it 4. Everyone doesn't like it, so maybe like you'll find other reasons why you don't like it. But the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, no, it was good.
I know that ending was like so satisfying. That's why I'm like, I feel like for everybody that maybe gave it low ratings or like that DNF'd it, it's like, did you just not get to the good twist at the end?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know some people stopped, I think, before some of the twists. I think the twists are worth reading. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dad getting buried was just the most shocking thing to me. It's just so like original. Like, I've never seen that in a book before. So I was like,
yeah. I thought me too. It reminded me of Les Mis, and I was like, I thought that was a really good twist. Because wait, no, not in Les Mis. Oh, what is it called? The Count of Monte Cristo. Have you seen that?
Oh,
the movie? Okay, it's like early on, it's a movie, and then it's also a classic. But early on, he actually escapes prison by going, like, pretending to be dead and like smuggling in like a, what are they called, like a bag. So he was thrown out to sea as like the dead guy. And so it reminded me of that a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah.
I agree with Alicia. Look, at anyone explain why they let an outsider move in. I don't know.
That's a good point. Like, why was Ben allowed to move in the first place?
I know that. Exactly. I know you could make like an argument that Nick liked him, but I don't know if I would have liked someone that much to get them that close to my very messed up family.
Yeah. Well, and if that was the reason, then like that really backfired for him, didn't it?
I know. Poor Nick.
Like, oh god.
I feel bad for Nick.
I know that's I'm trying to find where they said, yeah, the dad and Nick were the same weight. Like, that must have been like they must have been pretty similar in
they must have
and like, yeah, for that to be unnoticed by the boys.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Olivia say, to be honest, I wish that I had just gone into this thinking it was going to be like a super dramatic theater like thriller versus the typical, because I would have been into it.
That's true. I agree with this, Liv, because it was pretty camp. It was a little over the top. So I feel like it's kind of unlike what's like a more traditional thriller. Because I agree with it. I don't know, like even with Lock Every Doorway, or Lock Every Door, I feel like even that was a lot at the end, but it was more traditional. So I can totally see, like, I get it.
Yeah, I agree too with Justin. The romance with Jess was kind of random. Like, I didn't need that. I could have done
when they were making out, I was like, girl,
I know,
stick to your brother,
like stick to the plan. I know. There was like a lot of unnecessary romance happening in this story with like Ben like fucking everyone, and then like Jess. I'm like,
when Sophie, okay, at one point I thought Dominique was into it. She wasn't, but like when Sophie started, I was like, Ben can get it apparently with like anyone.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, what is going on in this family? Like, damn.
I know.
Okay, let me see. What else did and then the last thing that was a kind of a thing about the ending. How did you feel about Sophie like letting them go? Because to me, I feel like that's like one of the most unrealistic aspects of this book for me, because after like we find out Ben's alive and then like it was actually the dad or whatever, and then Jess just kind of like begs her to like let them leave, and she's like, we won't say anything or whatever, and then the next chapter is just like they left, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I agree with that actually. I feel like what happened was Lucy Folly, I think she had a really good concept and really good twists, but I don't think she wanted it to end sad, and she didn't exactly know like how to wrap it up. Because I would feel bad if like Sophie ended up dead, because like she's a tragic character, and I kind of wanted her to have some sort of a happy life. But like I agree, I can't see her letting them go since she was that protective of her daughter.
Well, that's what I mean, and like to go through all of this just to have them like leave peacefully, it seems a little bit like what was the point then?
How
You
how
know?
would you have ended? Because I don't know. Like I agree with you. How would you have ended it? Or like how anybody in the comments?
I
Someone
don't, I
decide.
don't, I don't, yeah, I don't know honestly, like how I would have ended it or how I expected it to end. I just like I thought there would be more of a struggle for them to be able to leave. I wouldn't think they would just be
Yeah,
allowed to leave peacefully. You know,
I
like
think you're right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Casey, did you see? I thought Nick was gonna attack the mom to like let them leave. That's interesting.
Oh,
That's
that would
interesting.
have actually been interesting because like especially if he did have like real feelings for Ben and like
Yeah.
wanted him to get out of there, that would have been interesting.
Did
Um,
Ben like Nick? Like he just went with it, but then he seemed to like abandon Nick pretty quick. Did
I
he
don't,
like him?
I don't think he actually liked any of them. Like really,
Me either. Freaking
that's so
Ben.
terrible. I know I wasn't a huge fan of the epilogue, but I didn't think it was that bad. It was fine. Like
I don't remember. What was it?
it's
What
like
happened?
it's like her and Ben are just like peacefully chatting about their next adventures, and then she like gets on a train and leaves, and it's like
Oh, yeah, I didn't think it fit very well, especially since they did not seem like close siblings. So I would have
yeah,
thought after this they would have just like gone their separate ways.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But didn't Nick like hate Ben by the end?
I would have. I mean, he literally did a guess what I did with your mom last night joke. Like I would have been like, you're done, sir.
Oh
Get
my
out of
god,
here.
yeah. Yeah, what the heck? I saw a comment. I think Justin said something about like, how did you feel about like the thoughts on the riot being a part of the plot? I feel like that was such a like small thing that didn't even really end up mattering very much at all. So
I
like,
agree. I thought it was going to have something bigger to do with it. And I don't know if I missed it or not, but I just
yeah.
didn't see how it was connected very
hmm
well or at all.
I know. I don't think there was any points to the riots being in there, so I don't know why they were in there.
Yeah.
It's just for like that one scene, I think, when she like is around them or something, and something happened.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, there was like no point.
I agree. Also, I love the Ben is for the streets. Sorry.
That's amazing. I know this though. I wish the secret passageways had been used more.
I wrote that down. I literally wrote that down. I don't understand why we introduced it and then like we never went back.
Exactly. Like this could have made it 5 stars. Okay.
Yeah.
The secret passageways. That was so cool. Like that whole
Yeah.
idea of it. I was like, what? And like
Yes.
I wanted to see the family like actually using the freaking peepholes and like what they were for, really.
Yes. Well, actually, I felt like in a way it could have been even more creepy. We didn't use the apartment as much as I wanted. Like we did in the beginning and then not as much, but I felt like it could have been, you know, it's an old Paris apartment with all these secret passageways and dumbwaiters. Like I would have loved that to have been more of a part of the story.
Same. That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Lucy Folly likes to add current events to her stories, but this one is so irrelevant.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the riots are just there to remind you that there's a huge wealth inequality issue going on.
Oh, that could definitely, yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like that was a huge theme of this as well, was how money is just so corrupt ultimately. Like none of them really want to be there, but they ultimately kind of sell their souls for the money in the end.
Yeah, that's facts. 100%. Can't believe the secret passage was only used once. Yeah, I feel like if the creep level was going up with like the secret stuff, like that would have been just made it even better. So
yeah.
Okay, and then the last question I had for you is that if you had to compare this to like another movie or TV show, did it give you any vibes? Like I know we've talked on like Lock Every Door, but like did it give you any other vibes of like other things that you've seen or read?
Yes. Two. So the first is, have you seen Only Murders in the Building?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, totally reminded me of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
that.
Yeah, I love that so much, and it just got renewed for season 2, so I am just like so excited. But the second one is kind of random. I feel like the vibes are slightly different, but if you like rich people problems, secrets, and like everything is kind of connected in a way you don't expect, I loved Neverworld Wake. I feel like that has, it's also a thriller, but it has some speculative elements. But I actually feel like if you're a fan of this and you don't mind some speculative elements, you might really vibe with that one.
Dang, I've had that one on my TBR for like literally forever. So that's
so good. It's so good.
That's good to hear. I love that. I actually agree with this comment too. It reminded me of Peter Swanson's Her Every Fear with the apartment thing.
Is that a book or? Yeah, it's a book.
Yeah, that one's one of Peter Swanson's books. I I love that book. That book gets like pretty mixed reviews, but I think I gave it like 5 stars back in the day when I read it. But
Ooh,
I agree, actually. I really do love that book too.
you write it down.
Um,
Hold on. For every fear. Okay, got it.
Agatha Christie with the cast of characters. That's
True.
interesting. Yeah, Lock Every Door is like the easy comparison. Like that's the thing that my brain just goes to.
Definitely agree, Maria.
Knives Out.
Knives Out! I could see that because it's a
Interesting.
family thing, and there's like, oh, that's a really good
I
one,
know.
actually.
That's interesting. Oh my gosh, Hannah said the one that I was gonna say, Ready or Not, the movie. It kind of gave me similar vibes
I don't know
in
it.
a way. Ready or Not is like the movie where she's marrying into a rich family and it all takes place on the night of their wedding and they
I
have to
want to
like
see that so bad.
yeah, and they have to play she like on the night of their wedding they have to play a game. It's like the family's tradition and then the game that she chooses is a game like hide or seek or yeah, is it hide or seek? And then
Yeah.
anytime she like finds somebody they have to like or they have I don't I'm getting this all fucked up. Sorry. she has to hide and if they find her they kill her. It's like crazy shit.
Wait, how scary is it though? Because like I really want to watch it, but I get scared in movies so easily.
It's not like too scary, but it's very gory.
Okay.
That was the thing that I was like, ugh, I can't handle gore very good in movies. But yeah, Ready or Not, it's a fun time. It's pretty intense.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, also Parasite?
I haven't seen that either.
Oh my gosh. Dude, Parasite is like one of my top tier favorite movies of all time, but I don't
Really?
see the similarities if I'm being honest.
Maybe it's because Parasite is like a commentary on like people who have a lot of money and take advantage of
That's
people
true.
who don't. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe so. The themes, possibly.
Mhm.
Megan, let me know if I'm right.
That is
He's like Lexi now.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Hannah's like, watch Ready or Not.
Ooh, okay.
It's intense. It's like one of those movies that you're just like holding your breath the whole time because you're just like, oh my god, like every scene is like so intense.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm
Nope.
excited.
Yeah.
If I'm scared though, I'll end up like being in your DMs like, why?
Yeah. I love it. It's not like, if I'm remembering correctly, it's not like a jump scary movie. It's just intense, like very suspenseful the whole time, and it's very gory and like that kind of vibe.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other like comments, feelings about this book? Anything else that we should? I feel like I covered pretty much everything that I wanted to.
I think you covered everything that I wanted to ask too. But I do want to ask, what are you reading next for your book club? And also, what are you reading just in general?
So next month we're reading 9 Lives by Peter Swanson, which I'm so excited about. It just came out this month, I'm pretty sure, and it's supposed to be kind of like an Agatha Christie style where like 9 people are getting picked off one by one, I think, and yeah, it's like that kind of vibe.
Girl, stop. I will read that.
So I'm interested to see if it'll be good or not because I had a Peter Swanson pick last year and it was like a 2-star for me, like not my favorite.
Oh no.
But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I have high hopes, but but yeah, that one's the next one. And then I don't know. I'm not really reading anything at the moment. I just like filmed my March wrap up and I'm ready to go. But what are you reading right now?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this book, I don't know if Liv is still here, but I told Liv about this too, and she's currently obsessed. The Jasmine Throne. Do you like fantasy? I feel like I know you do more like thriller and then horror, right? But do you do fantasy ever?
I don't usually read fantasy, no.
It's so good. It's so good. I can't explain exactly why, but it's like with a lot of epic fantasy, it's really slow in the beginning, but this like hooked me right from the beginning.
Oh shit.
Please don't ask me what it's about. I just forgot the synopsis. It's just really good.
Olivia's reading it.
Yes, it's so good. Well, I think I boxered Liv and I was like, I'm obsessed with this book. And she started and Liv was like, oh, I love it. It's so good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dude, I've tried like so many times and my brain is just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Like fantasy just goes way over my head.
You should try it. And if you hate it, then I won't ever ask you to try it again.
Love it. Oh my gosh. Well, this is exciting. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined this live show. I feel like we had a really great turnout on this live show. Like so many people are showing up. So thank you so much to everybody who participated this month, everybody that read this book with us. I really appreciate it. I'm excited for future live shows. And thank you so much to Lexi for
I had
joining
the best
me.
time. I had the best. I freaking love live shows and I love hanging out with you. This was
Yes.
so fun.
It
Like
was so fun.
I had the best time, like chatting with you and everyone else. Like this was my
Yeah.
time of night.
Yes. If you aren't already subscribed to Lexi, her channel will be linked down below. So you can go and check out her channel, give it a look, subscribe, and yeah, this was so much fun. Like I feel like this was one of the most fun I've had during a book discussion.
Me too.
So yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back on sometime.
Thank you. I'd
Great.
love to. I had the best time.
Yeah, I know. Do you have a book club?
Not right now, but I might be making one.
Ooh, we got the
Ooh,
tea. We got the
yeah.
tea. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna head out, and we'll see you next time. So thank you so much.